Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the McGonagall Boxing Podcast. Another busy week in the world of boxing. Please check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube, the McGonagall Boxing Podcast. So let's get straight down to it. The big breaking news is obviously Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell have agreed to fight one another in the lightweight division. It's a final eliminator for Devin Haney's WBC regular title. So it's a huge fight, a big fight. I'm really hoping Eddie Hearn, DAZN, Sky Sports can use their financial clout over Golden Boy Boxing to bring the fight to the UK, which I think will give Luke Campbell a far better chance of pulling up the upset. However, if it goes to Vegas, I give Luke Campbell virtually zero chance. But let's break the fight down. I think Luke Campbell, before we start, is a very, very skilled boxer. Good defence, good punch output, good fitness, good chin. But the problem you've got with Luke Campbell is a similar problem you have with Anthony Joshua. You can tell they come from that same Olympian up in Nottingham, British, European fighting style. Okay? The problem you've got is they're very, very rigid. Very upright. It's not natural. They're not natural free-flowing thinkers or fighters. Campbell's very good, as you saw against Lomachenko, at countering punches. He's got good punch output, but he doesn't take the front foot against the elite boxers. He doesn't have that kind of killer mentality that Loma has, that the Ryan Garcias of this world have. And ultimately, Garcia does things that Campbell cannot do. Campbell does everything well. You'd give him a 7 out of 10 for most things, even pushing a high 7. But Garcia, his skill set is phenomenal. His hand speed, his punch power is way above Campbell's. You're talking in the 9s. Okay, every fighter that he's fought, he's either knocked out or he's badly wobbled. His last 10 fights, he's cleaned the opponents out ruthlessly. And he's beaten good fighters. People constantly come up to me and go, well, who's he beaten? Who's he fought? Well, for instance, beating Fonseca in his last fight was very credible. Fonseca had only been beaten once, 25 wins. Garcia annihilated him. He's beating fringe world title contenders, and he deserves a lot of respect. Garcia as well, obviously trained by Team Canelo. He's got Oscar De La Hoya as his promoter. They're going to give him words of wisdom. Yes, he's young. He's come up to 22. Yes, he lacks experience. But, when you are young, you rely to your corner. He's got a very experienced tactical corner, and I think they're going to help him against Campbell. He's also got the confidence of youth. He doesn't believe he can be hurt, hit or stopped, but he believes he's going to knock you out. Whereas you look at Campbell, he's shown weaknesses. Obviously, Lomachenko dominated him. People say, it was a good showing. It was a brave showing, but let's be right. I agree with the judges. 2 of them gave Campbell 1 round, the other gave him 2 rounds. I think you'd have to give, in the Lomachenko fight, I would give Campbell two rounds in that fight. For a lot of the fight, he was on the back foot. Lomachenko was pushing the pace, and ultimately, he very, very, very nearly had him out in the 11th and the 12th. He overwhelmed Campbell. Same thing with Linares. Constant pressure and high hand speed and work rate is something Campbell doesn't enjoy. He likes to fight. He likes to his pace dictate the pace, and when you take him out of his comfort zone, eventually he breaks down. He's got good cardio, but he hasn't got enough in the tank to sustain a regular, consistent beating. I think Garcia is young enough, hungry enough, quick enough, and aggressive enough to do that to Campbell. And I think he gets him out there around the round 8 or 9 mark. I can see why there's question marks. I can see people saying, well, Garcia's young, inexperienced. Is he going to gas out after round 7? He's never really gone past 7. He doesn't have the experience of Campbell. He's not as good an all-round boxer as Campbell, who obviously Olympic gold medalist. All these things are right. But unfortunately, the hand speed and the punch power is a big leveller. It's like Deontay Wilder, isn't it? Everyone knows he can't box, but when you've got a right hand from the gods, it doesn't matter. Garcia's hand speed is phenomenal, and he's just going to overwhelm Campbell. Campbell come up to 33, he's battle worn now, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying he's over the hill, he's not, but that beat down from Lomachenko is going to take its effect, and I worry if he's going to see some of these punches coming from Garcia. Garcia is hungry. He's a hungry young lion. Campbell's been there and done that. He's fought in a lot of tough battles, and you have to think, how many times can you keep going to the well? I'm sure Shane McGuigan, excellent trainer, is going to give Campbell a solid game plan. He knows that Garcia's going to come on to him, so he's probably going to look to counter him with that big left hand of his, but it's not a devastating left hand. And I just think eventually Garcia's going to ride it and walk him down. He's going to start losing respect for Campbell as the fight goes on, realising that Campbell can't hurt him, and the fact that he's quick enough to get out of the way of a lot of punches, and he's just going to wear Campbell down. And I think he's going to really hurt him around the 8 or 9 mark and get him out of there. A lot of people on social media disagree with that. They think Campbell's experience and his boxing IQ and skills will be too much for an inexperienced Garcia. Trust me, you wait till the fight happens. You'll see how good Garcia is. I really believe he's the next big thing in boxing, and you'll see this and a big statement against Campbell, and he'll earn his right to face Haney, who I think he'll beat as well. I think Garcia's the real deal. Moving on, Joshua Pulev still in the works. Pulev's promoter is getting very upset this week, saying, what's going on with the fixed date, Eddie Hearn. We're waiting and waiting. Still no confirmed date. So Gotsev, who obviously is Pulev's promoter alongside Bob Arum, who promotes him in the States, he's getting frustrated. Now Hearn's saying, we're looking at November, where, going to be trying to do it in front of a crowd. That's ambitious, because even in November, I'm not sure people are going to feel totally confident about going out and seeing a boxing fight. So, all this constant waiting around, it should have happened last month. I get why Pulev's team are frustrated. Pulev isn't getting any younger. He's pushing 40. He's been inactive for over a year now. They need a fixed day. So I agree with Pulev's promoter. Hearn needs to give him a definite date, a definite arena, and he needs to stop holding out for one of the major arenas, which, let's be honest, even in November, is very ambitious to fulfil. If you're going to go for a big stadium like Tottenham, then you're going to have to wait till next year. Otherwise, get it on behind closed doors. But of course, that means, are they going to have the financial clout to pay Joshua, who's used to 30 million plus? And obviously, Pulev's been guaranteed 5 million purse for this fight. Can you pay him that under lock and key with no crowd? I'm not so sure. So I get Hearn's scenario as well, but you have to give him a definite date now, especially Pulev at his age. So I agree with Pulev's promoter there. Some interesting times ahead. Obviously, the talking point is obviously Garcia Campbell. I think that's going to be a fantastic fight while it lasts. But I see one winner. I see Ryan Garcia at this point beating a battle-worn but brave Luke Campbell. All right, guys, that rounds off today's and this week's news in the world of boxing. Obviously, Garcia Campbell is the big talk. Pulev, Joshua, let's get that date sorted as soon as possible. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys, on my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, my YouTube. And I'll be back real soon with some more breaking news. All right, guys, I'm out. Catch you soon. Bye.